In this video, I'm going to walk you through our exact 60-day core blueprint. This is a proven 60-day roadmap to scale your Shopify brand with clarity, performance, and speed. Want to get results just like this? Well, this is actually the case study that made me realize that it really just takes 60 days of proper execution to get a brand in a good spot to become scalable. So this brand started with us at $16,000. We got them to $133,000. Again, you can see October to December, that growth, which is absolutely insane. We actually started with them in mid-November. So we started at this kind of base point of $16,000 and generated over $133,000 in our basically first month of working together. So I realized that this core growth roadmap that I'm going to present to you today is exactly what you need to do to get results just like this and set yourself up for success. Here at TVG, we've partnered with north of 100 brands at this point. Our team has managed over $20 million of ad spend, has generated north of $100 million in estimated revenue, and we've produced 4,000 plus creatives, 2,000 plus emails. So we know a thing or two about e-commerce marketing. I'm just excited because after all this experience, I realized it really boils down to just this 60-day sprint to make sure everything is dialed in to get ready for scale. My name is Patrick. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at TVG, and I'm very excited to walk you through exactly what you need to do in 60 days to scale your brand. These are the 5 big problems that e-commerce brands are facing in 2025. First, declining ROAS and skyrocketing CAC, customer acquisition costs. Ad platforms are not going to get less competitive and costs aren't going to go down. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you have the system in place to not just completely be reliant on Meta to drive all your growth. Creative that looks good but doesn't sell. Creative is one of the biggest issues I see with brands. They struggle to create it in-house, or they create these ads, they never convert. Creative is one of the most important things that you need to create at scale to scale your ad account. No clear offer or funnel strategy. A lot of people are just throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping it sticks. We need to make sure that we have a bulletproof way of building a scientific method of testing everything from your offer, your landing page, your emails, so it all works together in one proper system. Abandon email and retention systems. Did you know email should be generating north of 30% plus of your top line revenue? And that means that you're selling to your existing customer base or your newsletter list. So we want to make sure that if you're spending on ads, that your retention is dialed in, because this can be a massive moneymaker for your brand. Disjointed teams and agency chaos. A lot of brands that we speak to, maybe they're trying to execute some things in-house. They have a Meta freelancer agency, they have a Google agency, they have a Klaviyo team, and everything is disjointed and everyone is claiming success. You need to look at things from an omnichannel approach, and everyone needs to be working together so that we can drive, at the end of the day, our real goal, which is revenue and profit growth. So this is the core growth engine. This is our process that we've developed that really simplifies scale and make sure we focus on the revenue generating activities and channels to really see results as soon as possible. It starts with converting creative. So creative that just doesn't look good, but also stops the scroll, convinces cold people to actually buy. Optimize marketing. We don't run things in silos. We don't want this disjointed marketing team. We want everything to work together seamlessly so that when we can do tests, we can look at the funnel, we can find the bottlenecks that are preventing us from scaling. Retention retargeting, like I said, email, 30% plus of revenue should be coming through email and SMS. We recommend a platform, Klaviyo. Many brands do, many e-commerce brands. I assume if you are an e-commerce brand, you probably have interacted with Klaviyo, but if you haven't, definitely recommend Klaviyo. Expansion and scale. Once we have these foundations in place, now it's truly time to scale, which means we can reliably put in $1 in and get 2, 3, 4, 5 out, and it's massively profitable because we know our metrics and we know our KPI. So let's start talking about the first 2 weeks, which is all about the foundation and planning. This is all about laying the groundwork and making scale inevitable. Now, most people rush into this. They just start testing ads, sending some emails, and all over the place. The point of this 60-day roadmap is to show you what you should focus on week by week so you can hammer it out and make sure that you're doing things correctly. So, number 1, refining your offer and your target customer. Do you know exactly who your customer is? I'm not talking about just a mom, a gym goer, a fitness enthusiast, someone who wears makeup. We need to go deep into this customer. And what we recommend is going super hard into demographics, socioeconomic status, financial status, right? Exactly what they are, what's their day-to-day look like. Build out these avatars so we can speak to them, because as we create landing pages, emails, creative, we want to make sure that actually resonates with our target customer. So look at your data, look at what's happened in the past, who is your customer, and start to present an offer and create an offer that's a no-brainer to a customer on the front end. For the offer side, focus on high margin, high demand products that are easy to understand, right? We want high perceived value, ideally north of 60, 70% margin, so we have enough profit for customer acquisition costs so that you're in a nice, healthy spot. Next, assign UGC creators and develop creative briefs. So if you have influencers, affiliates, if you have talent that you engage with, Get about 2 creators. This is what we recommend. 2 creators, and then what they'll create is 6 total videos. And so you'll start to create and ideate out, okay, these are the creators, these are the briefs, these are the angles that we want to have, because we need to get this in the mix as soon as possible so that we can send product out to these creators, get these ads in so that we can launch everything on time. I also recommend cleaning your list and optimizing your sign-up forms. So a Shopify store typically converts at like 2 to 5%. But a sign-up form typically converts at 5 to sometimes even 10%. That means that before we start driving ads, we want to make sure that we're collecting as much customer data as possible. That usually stems from largely the sign-up form. So that's the sign-up form, the pop-up form that comes when someone visits your site for the first time. We want their email, we want their SMS so that they can get a special offer. So 10% off, 20% off, free shipping, whatever it is, structure a very good email opt-in offer so we can collect people as they start coming in. Map out your funnel and write landing page copy. So we want to map out the entire customer journey. You have your top of funnel ads, you have your landing pages, you have your website, and you have your email. Make sure that you start to just get a page of all the copy and everything so it's nice and congruent, and start to ideate out your landing page. Even if your product pages are converting well, I recommend building a landing page, because for cold traffic, if your product pages are converting well right now, maybe it's all organic. Once you do cold traffic, these are people that know nothing about you. So typically you want to make sure you have a super optimized landing page to start driving traffic to. And a reminder, these 14 days are where most of the heavy lifting happens. So it's important that this is all about building the best possible foundation so that when we go into the building phase, which is next, you're actually going to be executing based on strategy, not guesswork, and not sporadically just creating things to create things. All right, production and build. So days 15 to 30 is all about creating all these assets. So turning the strategy that we just ideated out over the first 2 weeks and building those assets that actually sell. So shoot and edit the UGC videos and product photos. So I recommend we want to have a nice variety of creatives to start testing in the ad account. So by now you should have sent product out to creators. You should have created a nice creative brief, given them the guidelines, the script on what they should say, what shots they should film, all that good stuff, and start to get those assets in so you can start to edit and create final assets. Develop 12 high converting graphic ads. Like I said, our intention is to have a nice variety of creative that we can start testing on the ad side. So 12 should give you a solid amount of creatives to start. Big headlines, clear benefits, create a mix of static ads for retargeting and cold traffic, usually 1x1 and 4x5 for Meta, for Facebook and Instagram. And don't obsess over aesthetics, obsess over clarity and thumb stopping power. Some of our best performing ads aren't the prettiest ads, but they communicate, they stop the scroll, and they get people to the website, which is our ultimate goal. Building your landing page. So we recommend using a platform. We use Replo. Replo is a great platform, integrates no problem with Shopify. And really what we want to prioritize is speed, mobile user experience, and clear call to actions. 80% of traffic is going to be through mobile. So we want to make sure this landing page is absolutely dialed in, communicating your offer, making it super easy for customers to buy. And even maybe test load speed. So make sure it's not a clunky landing page that has tons of elements that's slowing down, because 1 second can kill conversions. Develop the 5 core email flows in Klaviyo. Like I said, email, 30% plus of your revenue. These flows right here will generate 15 to 20% of your revenue. You'll also get revenue from the campaigns, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But the main flows that you should have built out are the welcome flow, welcome series, the abandoned cart, post-purchase, browse abandonment, and maybe a win back or a sunset flow. Make sure these are all built out so that when you start driving traffic, these can start working for you, because these are dependent on behavior traffic, behavior by the customer, and these will be massive money makers for months on end if you install these properly. Next, structure your meta campaigns. So usually what we say is, like at the start, especially if you're not spending anything on ads, $100 to $200 a day as your testing budget. Create a cold campaign to start, and start creating ad set optimized campaign where you can test 3 to 5 creatives in each ad set. So maybe do 4 ad sets with $50 each with a variety of creatives that we produce. Start to just like map out and structure those meta ad campaigns, and then we'll eventually launch them. All right, so now this is the end of the first month. You should have 6 UGC videos, 12 graphic ads, 1 high converting landing page, 5 Klaviyo flows that are ready to go, and your meta campaign should be ready to launch. Keep in mind, this phase is resource heavy, right? It's a lot of building, but it's important that now, once we're gonna start launching these things, that you have all the foundations in place so that things will actually convert. Here's a bunch of examples of exactly what I'm talking about that we produce for brands. You can see a bunch of graphics there, a bunch of emails there. This is exactly what we should have built out so that we can start launching ads and not burning money on fire. Days 31 to 45, launch and test. Go live, get data, learn fast. You built the system, now it's time to launch it into the wild. This phase is about turning on your traffic, monitoring results, and using early data to guide optimization. The goal is momentum and clarity. You're not just guessing, you're gathering real-world feedback and at every touch point. So here's what to execute. We're gonna launch those paid campaigns. Turn on your first campaigns, the cold campaigns, maybe a retargeting campaign if you already have a big audience, and test hooks, offers, formats. Again, these are these testing campaigns, those ad set budget optimization, get 4 with $50 a day, 2 with $50 a day, with 3 to 5 ads in each ad set. And don't optimize too early. Let these cook for 3 to 5 days. Let them just run, monitor the results daily, but don't change things or turn things off, because ads need time to optimize and you just need to let them run for a few days. Don't freak out. This is just the name of the game when it comes to advertising. We're gonna activate those email flows. Those should all be set up now, but with the traffic that will be coming through ads, you should start to see people opting into your sign-up form, going through your welcome flow. You start to see traffic trickle down, and your welcome flow and abandoned cart will probably be the first ones to get purchased in that first week if you set this up properly. Now, of course, at this point, we're driving traffic to your new landing page, which should be all built out at this point. So during, weeks 5 and 6, 31 to 45, you want to just monitor conversion rate is the biggest one. If your conversion rate is less than 2%, then that's probably a red flag. We need to improve your landing page. Maybe it's not clear enough on exactly the offer, the benefits, etc. You can use tools like Hotjar and heat maps to see exactly why people are bouncing. Also, you want to set up analytics dashboard. Usually for a brand that's spending less than 10 to 20 grand a month on ads, you can get away with just the platform native data tracking like the Meta Ads Manager, Google Analytics, Klaviyo. But you could use other platforms like a third-party attribution tool like Triple Whale. That'll allow you to just get deeper with your data. But again, that can be expensive. It might not be worth it for a brand that's doing less than maybe 100K a month. Now at this point, now that we have things launched, I recommend hosting a midpoint strategy call. This is what we do with our clients, but I think it's good, even solo, to make a whole strategy and look at everything that's gone on. And if you have team members, bring them in, review the data, and document all the learnings for the first 6 to 8 weeks, because this will really set you up for success as we get into the scaling and expansion phase, which is next. Don't panic, don't tinker too fast, let the data lead. You cannot be overly emotional in this point. What happens is you created all these things, right? And maybe only 10 to 20% of those ads work. That's okay, because then we can figure out, okay, that's working. We can create more like that. We can shut off all the losers. So sometimes, like the brand I showed, everything worked really quick and we're able to scale really fast. Sometimes we're just looking for those 10 to 20% improvements, those little improvements along the way, so we feel confident that we're moving in the right direction. Days 46 to 60, scale and optimize. So now after a couple of weeks of testing, you should see what ads are working, your landing page. If that has any issues, you should have squashed that and made sure your landing page is improved, and keep monitoring all these metrics. Here's what to execute. Analyze and scale top performing creatives. Sometimes what we do is we create a scaling campaign, which is simply a campaign budget optimized campaign, where we just start ascending the testing ads into that scaling campaign. Increase the budget on top ad sets gradually, and again, you can move on to a winners campaign. Top performers often follow a similar formula, so you'll see, graphic ads that mention hair loss work the best, or whatever it might be. You want to obviously look at what creatives are working and then replicate. You're going to continuously create more creatives. You don't just create the creatives and then you're done. You're going to create more creatives based upon what's working. Next, deploying campaigns 3 and 4. Like I said, this goes along with the scaling campaign and maybe even your retargeting campaign. Get that up and firing, because you probably should have some traffic moving through and you're starting to get some learnings. Scaling isn't about increasing ad spend. It's about expanding what's already working. Very important. Refine email segmentation and offers. So now with some traffic coming through, especially if you have a big list already. So if you're working from square one, you might not have the biggest email list, but if you do have a big email list, we want to make sure that we start to build out some engaged segments. If you just send to everyone on your list, the open rate is going to be terrible, click-through rate is going to be bad, and what that tells Google and these inbox providers that you're sending spam is not relevant, so they're going to put you in the promotions or spam folder. So make sure you clean that list, create engaged segments within Klaviyo so you are sending to a very engaged audience. You can even run a mini offer test or incentive push through email and SMS, right? This is where we start sending campaigns. Free shipping, bundle, time discount, holiday campaign. Start to test and send to your email list, because now you can start squeezing cash out of this list that's starting to be built from your ads. Lastly, final strategy review and growth plan. At the end of these 2 months, look back similarly like you did just a couple weeks back. Review everything, wins, misses, bottlenecks, document learnings, and systemize what's working. Map out next steps, scaling into new channels, content sprints, CRO experiments. If your creatives are Like you'll see what are the bottlenecks? Is it the creative? Is it the landing page? Is it the email? If those standards, those KPIs aren't up to par, then that shifts your focus on what you need to squash and improve over the next couple of weeks. The goal of this phase is to transform your marketing system from throwing spaghetti at the wall to now a proven scalable system where you're simply monitoring metrics and directing your focus based upon metrics that are under par or under KPI. Here's your next step. So now you've got the roadmap. I definitely recommend go and start implementing a lot of this stuff literally today. Take some time, go through the foundation and those first few weeks and make sure that you have everything set up for success. This is not theory. This is after working with countless brands and working with a bunch of brands for the last 3+ years. This is exactly what works, right? And so the 2 paths for you from here is one, you can totally do it yourself. There's a reason why I created this resource. There's a reason why I'm being so public and just trying to give you guys as much information is because you can totally go and do this yourself. The second option is you can let us build it for you. We'll come in 60 days, exact roadmap. We're executing it for you and make sure that you have a team that's actually done this before, executing this to the highest level. And we've done this for wellness brands, CPG, fashion, supplements, and much more. So it doesn't matter what niche you're in. This is a proven framework and system that works across various niches. And we are just getting started. So if you're interested, there is a link in this document. If you download this document, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll leave a link down below as well, where you can book your free call with us. And here's what some of our clients are saying. We work with over 35 brands right now. And a big thing about us is that we don't just come in and we leave in a couple months. A lot of our clients have been with us for a year plus, 18+ months, and we really aim to be your fractional growth marketing team that is focused on driving real profitable revenue for your brand. So if you would like to learn more about how we could potentially help you install this exact system into your company, then I encourage you to book a call down below. If not, then I will continue to create content here on YouTube and other channels to make sure that you guys have all the tools to succeed, even if you don't work with us. I really appreciate you watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to speak with you soon. Take care.